So I know you're still calling customers and doing all the follow-up work with everybody and making sure they're happy and all that stuff and that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing in that whole deal.
Yes.
And then I do know that our lady in Texas, Xochilt, right? Is that right?
Yes.
I do know that she has, I know we're following up with her on her stuff. So
Yes, I've been talking to Xochilt. She's super excited to have her equipment shipped out. She did have some questions about marketing her new powder coating business. So I don't know if that's something that you would like to give some advice about.
Yeah, to her. Yeah, because she's probably at that point right now where, because she's placed the order for the equipment and it's being built. Now you're like out. You're like, oh, now I'm spending all this money on equipment. I got this building and I have 0 customers, and
Exactly. She wants to know.
and you're having the Scooby-Doo row moment. It's like, ooh, wow. So, the funny thing about that is, it's kind of a double-edged sword in that you go out to manufacturers, right? So like, oh, by the way, I'm going to go out to XYZ manufacturing that sends stuff out and gets it coated. And then you go, oh, by the way, I'm opening a powder coating business. I'd like to get your business. And then most of those people are going to say, because especially like industrial companies, right, are going to say, well, shoot me some samples. I don't have any samples. Well, let me come see your building and your equipment. Well, we don't have any equipment yet. So if you got to be real careful with trying to get it with the sort of getting the cart in front of the horse, because now let's walk through the scenario, right? So if you're the purchasing manager at a big company, and I walk in and you're already sending stuff out to get it powder coated right now, right?
Right.
And I walk in and say, hey, I'd like to quote your stuff and do your powder coating and whatever. And then you say, okay, well, do me some samples. And I'm like, I can't do samples, right? And then you say, let me come see your facility. And I'm like, well, I don't have a facility to show you. Well, the real truth is, if you were happy with who's coating your stuff now, I wouldn't have got past the front door, would I?
Right.
But all I did now is I've just walked in to remind you how pissed off you are to people that's doing it now because the quality is not great or whatever. Yeah, the quality, it's almost always quality and lead time with manufacturers. That's the reason we always have manufacturers calling us, trying to bring powder in-house, because they can't control they all have bad quality and bad lead time, and they can't control them when somebody else does it. So now I've just reminded you how ticked off you are about your quality and your lead time. You're like, yo, God. And then, so now I'm just planting the seed. You start calling around, you find somebody else to do it. I finally get my stuff up, I come back in. Now you got somebody else doing it. I've got to wait till they screw it up to be able to get back in the door. Does that make sense? So it's kind of, it's a little bit cyclical. I will reach out to, you know what, I tell you what I'll do. Our handbook, whatever the title. I wrote the book, can't remember the name of it. The playbook. Okay, I wrote it, can't remember the
playbook.
The playbook. The playbook I know is at the editor people, proofread people, whatever, right now. And it's supposed to come out like in the next few weeks or something. Is that right?
Yes.
And then so, I don't know if you know this, but so, and I know I talked to some of the other folks about it, but so I was writing like 2 or 3 books at the same time. So that was the first one I started. And then because it looked like it was going to be War and Peace, because it's so all encompassing. I started that because the first book I wanted to write was like let me take that back. The first book I actually wrote was I wrote the skeleton of a how to market a powder coating business back in 2000 when we first opened the company.
Wow.
Because I had done all the consulting and stuff before that, and was one of the few people that sort of consulted on how to make money powder coating. So I actually wrote wasn't really a book. It was more of a coloring book than it would a novel. But it was sort of a bullet pointing kind of how to market a powder coating business sort of book. And then I never updated that a lot and got that out there, but it's sort of always been there. And then when I started the handbook, playbook. When I started the playbook, I had to, I started going back through, because you have worked with all these people around the country doing this, and started trying to pull in stories. So basically I've been working on both at the same time. So while you guys have been getting this one edited and lining up the publishers and the whatever, however you do what you do with whatever they do and how they do it, I've been trying to finish the other one. And where I'm going with all that is the powder coating for profit book, which is all about sort of the marketing aspect of it. The first draft is done. So what I will do is let's send her a copy of the first draft, but with the preface that one, she can't share it because it's a first draft, so it's rough.
Yeah.
But until you all get to go back through and clean it up, because I think that, let's see, so this first book will be out, what, 1st of March-ish, kind of something like that, 1st of April-ish, sometime in March, right?
March, yes.
Yeah, so sometime in March we'll have that one out, and then so next few weeks. And then the profit book will probably be closer to, I want it by the 4th of July. Maybe we can get it before then. It just depends on my travel schedule and whatever. Because I know we got some other stuff we're going to do. I know you are still working on some plans for things you're wanting to do this summer.
Yes.
I know we have all of our seminars that we already do on the docket. And then we're working with some big name companies on some big, large powder coat systems that I'm working with those guys. And then, what am I missing?
We've got the seminar tour coming up. So
the tour, okay.
Between the book for Xochilt, and I did mention that we have the seminar tour planning around the country, and we should have a city in Texas that we're looking at adding. So between the book and if she can make it to that seminar tour, I think that'll be a really big help to her with marketing her new business. And
so the seminars that we do in Nashville are basically the how to powder coat, the business side of it, and it's got the hands-on stuff. And then the seminars that we're gonna do around the country that start this summer-ish.
Yes.
It's
gonna be kind of an abbreviated version of that,
but with a lot more focus on marketing. From how I think I was, because I've got to finish. I've got to write and put together a lot of the stuff for that. Do we have? You have cities that you're looking at, or do you think y'all think we're gonna hit?
Yes. So far we have 4 cities. There's one in Texas, in Utah, in Michigan, and Vegas. So
we'll
looking to add possibly Florida, Atlanta, a little bit more on the East Coast.
Yeah, I'd like to add South Florida. Texas is going to be good. Texas, Utah, Michigan, and Vegas, and everybody on the. You don't want to go to Vegas, do you?
No. That sounds like a Terrible time.
Horrible trip. You want to stay away. You want to stay away from.
Skip that.
You're gonna skip that one. Yeah, I have a feeling we won't have any issues with people on the staff. We're gonna volunteer to go to that one, as long as we don't go to Utah in like December, or Texas in July when it's 120 degrees or whatever. So yeah, tell Xochilt we'll do that. And the thing is, the new thing talks about that new book is going to talk about marketing, but we'll get it to her. But I guess the best thing to tell her for right now is, social media is free. You have to do, like, you're crazy not to do. She should go today and build a website. People get so hung up on a website in that, oh, I don't know how to code and I don't know how to do all this. And like, between GoDaddy and all these other platforms out there, they literally have website builders you can build that are drag and drop. And it's like, insert picture here, me drag and drop picture. It's not that complex. And you can make a 2-page website that's like, here's who I am, here's what we do, here's why to pick us more than everybody else, and oh, by the way, here's some pictures of what we do. That's all that it really is for a powder coating's website. You never post prices. Dumbest thing in the world you can do, because now people look it up online and then they call your competitor, and all they got to do is shoot under you on the phone, and then people can't see why they can't see your quality. You want the people to come in to see you, but she should build a website immediately, and then immediately build a Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok or whatever the hell it is where you shoot a bunch of videos and put a bunch of videos.
TikTok.
Is that
yes.
TikTok? See, I'm up to date on my new technology.
People love their TikTok.
Do what?
People love their TikTok.
People love their TikTok. Oh, I know, but if they could shoot 30-second videos every day that just show them coding different things, and don't make the mistake of coding and shooting black, right? Just pictures of black, like, I coded a black flat panel today, and here's a black flat panel that we coded today. If you code a hot pink glow in the dark bicycle rim that you dig up off the side of the road or whatever, and people go, ooh, hot pink, they're gonna know you can code black. But if everything you post is black and white, they don't know that you can code stuff that is flat, high gloss, glow in the dark. People in their seminars all the time can't figure. It shocks them that there are actual glow in the dark powders or flip flop powders that change color and light, or just like all the different chromes and candies and all the cool stuff. Post the cool stuff, they'll know you can do the basic stuff, right? But
more fun to watch.
Yeah, and it's more fun to watch doing it. Yeah, it's she needs to post that stuff and start putting it up on social media, and it's free. And I would tell her just the biggest thing is, and I told her this in conversations before, don't be the cheapest, be the best. And the thing is, if everybody looks the same, walks the same, acts the same, talks the same, whatever, then it comes down to price. What makes you different? What is your unique selling point? And I've mentioned this to them. I talked to her over the phone one time, and I mentioned this to Jess and this, that, and other. I'm like, you are a female-owned powder coating business.
Yes.
That's unique.
Right.
Okay. Typically, boy, this goes, I'll catch hell for saying this. I'm not believing I'm gonna say this, but in my experience, of a lot of the people that I've trained, the best powder coaters that I've ever trained were always women. Almost every single one of them was a female, because when you showed them what to do and you told them, they listened. They weren't looking at their phone and screwing off and paying attention to everything else and whatever. They literally paid it. They listened to what you said. And then when you stop, they do exactly what you said to do. They're like, okay. And they just do it. And with dudes, the minute you turn around, they get monkey fingers and start pushing buttons and think they're smarter than the equipment and like, me figure out new way to do this. and then get it all messed up. So it's just when you're doing something that's an aesthetic job, right? That what it looks like is better. That how it looks is what matters. In a lot of those cases, the females were the better people to coat. They're trilingual, not only bilingual. Like they speak Spanish and English, and one of them speaks Russian.
Awesome.
And I don't know how many Russian people that are in Texas, but she can talk to them.
That's cool.
So they cover, and they are military raised kids. Like their dad was military, so they have a very disciplined approach to things. They have a very structured approach to things. They were already putting like SOPs and standard operating procedures. They were putting all these things in place. They're going to be very meticulous about what they do from a quality standpoint and all that. That being said, that's their unique, that's what's going to make them different than a lot of people in that, because I say this in the seminars all the time, the greatest thing about powder coating is it's easy. Worst thing about powder coating is it's easy, because then any goofball can go get grandma's old kitchen oven and a $100 gun from the hobby store, and then they go, well, I'm a professional powder coater. Well, you can do hobby stuff, you can do your stuff, but you can't do, you're not going to do the quality level of work without real equipment, real powder, real cleaning, real other things. You're not going to do those. You're just not.